And this is a really interesting matchup that's coming up at the next big UFC event, actually, February 17th, I believe, in Anaheim, so close to LA. Volk versus Topuria. And I wanted to pull up the tail of the tape. So I'm going to kind of pull this up over here. But I was watching a lot of people talk about this fight and talk about this matchup. And again, it's just so fascinating because you have Volk, who's so well-rounded, so tough, so tenacious, and then you've got Topuria up and coming. And right, I've got these kind of I've got these stats up here. I mean, look at that age difference. It's a 9-year age difference. Okay, and I think Ilya's undefeated. I think 14-0, something like that. But you kind of look through the numbers and what people also talk about in terms of Ilya being so well-rounded, so dangerous in the grappling and the striking. Volk obviously the same as well. But then you have that knockout that you just coming back from pretty quickly. So I want to throw it to you and get your thoughts on all of this in terms of what how do you see this fight going down, given Volk's amazing resume, his skill set, and then what Topuria brings and all those psychological elements.
That's exactly what I'm going to touch on the very last thing you said, psychological elements. This is a really tough fight to talk about because Volkanovski just got knocked out. You know what I mean? He just took that head trauma. Is he going to come in gunshot? By his personality, I don't know. I don't think he's going to, but you never know, man. Like getting knocked out, having that kind of concussion, being finished, but I mean, obviously Islam's a fucking legend and everything, but Taporia has incredible kicks. Is he going to be looking for that big head kick knockout? How is his brain going to man, there's just so many factors that are going into this. Like he's going back to 145, so he's going to be at a harder cut, meaning that his brain's going to be a little bit more dehydrated than it was at 155,
Mm.
and it's like, man, how can he take these shots? He's been in wars with what he had 3 fights with
Holloway.
Holloway, man, and wars, dude. I mean, he won them, but again, being in those wars, all these wars take that, and that's what happens to fighters, man. And it's you're a rock. And every time you fight and you get cracked, you take that little chip, you take a little chip off what you got. And that's why you always see these great fighters, these legends at the end of their career getting knocked out, getting destroyed. Chuck Liddell, man. Let's look at Chuck Liddell, dude, coming in, knocking everybody out. Man, now if you just look at him crooked, unfortunately, he gets knocked out, man. It's just because he's taken so many damage. He's been in so many wars. And Volkanovski, man, 2 fights with Islam, 3 fights with Max Holloway, Brian Ortega. Like, look at this guy's resume. Dude, he's never had easy fights, man. The guy's always fighting the best in the world, and he's continuing to fighting Topuria. Can he mentally hold it all together? Can he physically hold it all together? You have to be able to do both. If you can mentally hold it all together, he's coming, I'm not phased by that, and I'm sure that's what he's going to say. I'm sure that's what he's going to say. But
Yeah.
can his body hold it all together? And that's what this fight's going to come down to. You can't have either or. You can't be in physically great shape. It's holding all together, but mentally you're like, I don't know. Or yeah, I'm good. Like Tony Ferguson. Unfortunately, his age is catching up to him. The wear is catching up to him. In his head, listen to his interviews. I'm not retiring. I don't need to retire. But his body isn't what it used to be, and you can see it in his fights. Now, unfortunately, I'm hoping Volkanovski doesn't have that same problem, man. I'm rooting for the guy. I'm a Volk fan. He's one of my favorite fighters of all time. But can he keep it together mentally and can he keep it together physically? We'll see when these guys fight.
And do you have a way you're leaning one way or the other?
I'm a Volk fan. I'm biased, man. I can't go against the champ, dude. He's proven time and time again. Besides his one fight with Islam, he had a great fight before that. I thought he lost the fight. I've only watched it once, but when I watched it, I thought he lost the fight. He's beat Max Holloway, arguably one of the best strikers in the history of the UFC, 3 times. How can you bet against that? Especially he's a fan favorite. I love the way he talks. I love the way he walks. I love the way he fights. I love the way he trains. There's nothing I don't like about this guy. I cannot go against Volk. I'm taking Volk.
Okay, I'm gonna go other way. I'm gonna take Topuria, not because I feel super strongly about it. I do feel it's a bit of a coin flip, but I like Topuria a lot, and I like Volk a lot too. But there's something about having because he's so young. I feel like it's cool if you can come in and have a really long title reign, just really have amazing greatness and achieve something kind of like what Volk has done already. But anyways, let's see what happens. It's gonna be a great fight. I won't be disappointed no matter the outcome.